we're going to see this move very quickly through the heart of Henderson County.
All right. A very difficult night over the Mid-South. I know here in Memphis we've had very little rain. We did have some gusty winds during a good bit of the day today. Don't know of any significant damage around the metropolitan area because the heaviest part of this missed the city of Memphis. The heaviest part actually began around Tipton County, Mississippi County over in northeastern Arkansas, and over to Dyer County, which has been very hard hit. And we're also very concerned, as we have been for the last few minutes, about Jackson, Tennessee, which we believe has just seen a tornado, and we're getting some confirmation from the National Weather Service that a tornado has been produced in the city of Jackson. Our report from one of our friends that the Sheriff's Department may have taken a hit. We don't know if it was a tornado, straight line winds, hail. We don't know exactly what they were talking about, but there is an indication that perhaps the Sheriff's Department area around Jackson, Tennessee has been hit by at least some heavy weather. Still getting a very, very strong indication that there is rotation in that cell, Tim.
And that's from 3 minutes ago, which is going to actually put that whole cell into now parts of Chester County and parts of Henderson County as it continues to push to the east. The shear markers, the areas of rotation, are actually going to put it right in here. In fact, so that's about where those storm spotters had apparently saw that, right around or just west of Blue Goose there in western Henderson County. For folks that haven't been out that way, it's going to be in the western part of the county. Still seeing a little bit of rotation back here in western Madison County. In fact, just for the sake of taking a look there, not seeing anything in gate-to-gate shear back through here. I know at this time, especially since this area just passed through there, that folks are going to be very curious to know what's going on here, but not seeing rotation there, but we are seeing maybe some hail back along Interstate 40 through here, and still seeing some heavy rain right in here as well, and some more to come as well. We're going to keep an eye on this because there is a little bit of a weak echo through here.
Can you come up a little bit, zoom out maybe a little bit? Let's see what's going on with that cell up in, we don't want to forget our friends in Carroll County either. Possible indication of a tornado. There is a tornado warning for Carroll County because near Tresvant, we had indication that there might in fact be a tornado there, and we're going to try to look and see what that cell looks like at the moment as far as the potential for rotation. Tim, what do you think there?
Still seeing quite a bit in Henry County, but as I'm looking right around Huntington right now, all I'm seeing is basically some weak rotation. It's very weak. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. We're going to take a look at basically a tale of two little thunderstorm cells. We see this one cell here where it's very obvious where we're seeing the reds against the very bright greens. Then we come down here a little bit to the southwest of and we're seeing, and they're widely spaced. So yeah, there is some rotation there, but it doesn't look like very strong rotation. If we look at rainfall rates, we do see some heavy rain, some very heavy rains, and doesn't look like there's the potential for hail there. We can even look at how high these clouds are through both of these systems, and what we're finding out through here. We're seeing clouds of 50,000 feet. Haven't seen that too often tonight. 55,000, definitely.
And especially this time of night. Now,
Yes.
you know, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you got maximum heating from the sun going on, that wouldn't be totally unusual, but boy, this time of night, a 55,000-foot thunderstorm tells you that you do, in fact, have a big storm going on. Got a couple of things, Tim, while we continue to cover this situation. We're getting a call from a viewer, too, that this is unconfirmed. A tornado has touched down at Highway 45 and Hollywood in Jackson. That's a location that we're getting. Again, that's unconfirmed, but we also do have information from the National Weather Service that there has been a tornado again in Jackson, Tennessee. Again, the third time in as many years that Jackson and the metropolitan area of Jackson has been hit by tornadoes. We don't know the extent of anything, any damage it may have caused at this time. We'll try to continue to try to get that information for you. We do know there's been one fatality in Dyer County earlier this evening and several injuries reported there. Lots of damage in Dyer County as a result of tornadoes and other thunderstorm-related events. There is going to be a new tornado watch put into effect, which will include part of the state of Tennessee. But as I look at it, it is not going to include West Tennessee. Now, as far as I can determine, and I really haven't had time to look at all of this, we've been so busy here keeping you up to date on all of this, but I believe that this watch that we're under will not be canceled, certainly, early. Sometimes the National Weather Service will begin to remove counties. For instance, they may by now have removed the Missouri Boot Heel and eastern Arkansas, but things are so busy, they have so many warnings going on. They're in a similar situation. They haven't been able to really sit down and say, okay, this part is out of it, that part isn't. Let's briefly go to our lightning product, our pinpoint lightning. And again, you're seeing very little activity in the metropolitan area. Most of it is out of Arkansas. Virtually all of it is out of the Missouri Boot Heel. Almost nothing in northern Mississippi this evening. So I would say that for those areas, the chances for any more severe weather between now and 1 o'clock are very slim. It now appears that the greatest threat is going to be over the northern part of West Tennessee and also the counties which are away from the Mississippi River. So it looks like Dyer, Lauderdale, Tipton, Lake County, you have less of a threat now, certainly than earlier this evening, and certainly less than the rest of West Tennessee. Tim?
Dave, can we go back to pinpoint Doppler radar? This looks, obviously, the heavier storm over now parts of Henderson County and even maybe northern Chester County. And this looks innocent enough right through here, through southwestern Madison County, as we see just a little bit of rainfall. But I do want to show you back on storm relative velocity that we do have a little bit, actually, of a couplet south of Interstate 40. Well west of Bemis still, but and this has shown up over the last couple of returns, the last couple of images. We're seeing that, and then take that into account that we're seeing some rainfall rates where they actually kind of dry right through here, not quite as wet, and then some heavier rains this way. So we're seeing a little bit of rotation, but we're not seeing shear markers near it. But for folks in Madison County, certainly not trying to alarm you on this, but I think it's important to know that we will keep an eye on this as it continues to make its complete exit through. The key word is complete exit through the county.
That's an excellent point that you make, and also keep in mind that in Dyersburg, we believe that there were 2 tornadoes in Dyersburg early this evening. Yeah, we don't have confirmation of that yet, and won't until sometime tomorrow. But certainly a couple of years ago, when Bemis was hit so hard in Madison County, there were, in fact, at least 2 tornadoes. The one that hit Bemis, we believe, hit out west of town, out near the Ford area, and then hit Bemis. But there was another one out east of Jackson that did major damage and caused fatalities in a subdivision there, 2 separate tornadoes. So just because we've reported one does not mean it's impossible that another one could happen. So we're going to keep an eye on this area for you too, Tim.
Well, not ready to completely write this one off, but it's something that I have noticed over the last several minutes is a little bit of separation in the gate-to-gate shear. Now, does this necessarily mean that that there's no tornado? Absolutely, that does not mean that. However, it does show that perhaps there is a little bit of weakening in there, which could be a positive. This is something we're going to keep an eye on for the next at least 7 to 15 minutes or so as we continue to get more images. But instead of seeing that red directly against the green, we're now seeing a little bit of separation there, which could mean that it's starting to mature a little bit. And when it matures, what it basically means is it's reached its peak and maybe is perhaps beginning to lessen. But again, still, we're seeing some shear markers, and we are seeing some rotation, but again, not that tight rotation that we had seen earlier on. We're still seeing very heavy rainfall in behind it, though. Still very heavy rainfall over western Henderson County and in parts of central Madison County, all along Interstate 40 and to the south of it there, just east of Bemis. We're seeing those rainfall rates again up to 5 inches per hour. I want to go back to the live radar. We'll take the shear markers off, show you the 80-mile view once again, and show you now still some activity west of the Mississippi River in southern Mississippi County, northern Crittenden County, pushing in 2 parts of Tipton County. On the big scale, we'll zoom into West Tennessee, look for the potential for hail all across West Tennessee. Now we see some in northwestern, north-central Madison County, western Henderson County, and that is about it for now, which is very good news. We go back to the storm relative velocity product, and we still see, I'm not ready, as I said earlier, to completely write this one off, because we are now on the next imagery, sure enough, starting to see still a little bit of rotation. It's still hanging in there, so I still think there is that possibility. So what I'm going to do is back out. Yes, Dave?
That is going to be just to the north of Lexington, Tennessee.